Anytime, anywhere education. Whichcollege.co.
And welcome to our first session of Which College? And I'm going to talk a little bit more about it. And as you can tell, we are already beginning to develop our thing. We're going to start our Kickstarter campaign in relatively few minutes, but we are out there talking about it. And what is Which College? Which College is the ability to learn anything, anywhere, anytime education system, which means we believe in knowledge. And our first set of knowledge is, of course, teaching about ourselves. What is a witch? How we're witches, how we're practicing the larger pagan communities, the other secular communities. Because witch doesn't just describe one group of people, but it is a ancient and growing thing of thinkers who have existed for a very long time. And our ability to make changes in our environment is the number one thing we do. And what we need now to develop even further is the idea that we're developing into a culture. And what are we going to teach our children and our grandchildren? Our public education is great for many things, but it does not teach our culture. And so, what are we going to do? So, I've been traveling across. My name is Ed Hubbard, and I will describe my credentials in a minute. You may feel free to ask me any question in the chats, and I will have more of these sorts of events. But let me go ahead first. I'm Ed Hubbard, and I have been working on various forms of media and witch education since 1990. I know it sounds crazy, but I've had radio shows, Psychic Chicago Radio, Telepathic Radio, Pagans Tonight Radio Network, which lasted over 10 years as part of the Witch School system. And I'm also Magic TV, which we began, in 2005. Oof. It makes me feel kind of old, but we are constantly producing out material that is for education. Which college takes that to the next level? And I have been going across the country talking to teachers and people who are knowledgeable and everything else. And I've literally talked to hundreds and hundreds of teachers, thousands of people in the world. And what they need more is more education and more cultural relevance. And what are we valued? Because everybody says, "Oh, you can't make money as a witch," and yes, there are a lot of people who do make tons of money as a witch. So there is that education, but there's also this sort of satisfaction, and they want knowledge. Which college is going to provide knowledge? And it's going to be in the basics of the same thing as the witch school system. If you remember the witch school system, which has existed now for 22 years, you know that it is an incredibly powerful system that has produced almost 300,000 students worldwide. It has produced global leaders, local leaders, hundreds of groups, thousands of clergies who are practicing today, and more than a half a dozen different traditions. The most famous is the Karelian nativist tradition, but even that has subsets of traditions that are in there. And it is continued to be monitored by the Karelian Education Ministry. Which college is a separate project. It is independent of Witch School, which I helped create, develop, and now is in the hands of amazing people under the Karelian Education Ministry, and has now become a seminary, amongst other things, for the Karelian traditions and other types of teaching. And it's been teaching for 22 years, bringing so many people into being part of witches, Wiccans, and others. Today, I want to move beyond that. What we want is a college. And what I really want is something called a collegium. We're going to start out as a collegium. And what is a collegium? Well, it is the ancient word, Latin word for college. And what it meant a gathering of people of like mind, like professions, and like privileges to come and speak and be interactive with each other. So the first year, we're going to not only be teaching to general people, to everybody, to the mainstream, to anybody who wants to be a part of this, we're also going to be working with teachers to develop education. One of the biggest developments will be a certificate of teaching and a focus on teaching our children's K through 12. And I've already got they've already gotten some of these programs out there. I've got people who are going to do it. And we're going to work with them in a series of symposiums from about what do we need for K1 through K12 education and develop it. That's right. One of our very first emphasis is the K1 through K12. And if you want to become part of this, you just make a pledge in the next 30 days, 31 days to become part of what we're doing. And so without further ado, I am going to open up the campaign at 11:11 because I do those sorts of things. Um, and you can see it at whichschool.co. And let me see. Let me go back here. All right. And hopefully we'll be able to continue this. And let me see if I can show it to you at 11:11. Share screen. Okay. And we're sharing. Hopefully we're sharing. Are we sharing? Yes, we are. No, we're not. Mm-hmm. All right, folks. And yes. And now we are going to share our screen. And with that, we're going to push the button at 11:11, 1:11, because that's what we do. And that'll run through November 2nd, Thursday, November 2nd. And we're getting ready to launch, as you can see. I have read everything and launch your project. And there you go, folks. We're live. Let's see how long it takes before we get our first dollar. But there we go. We're going to end that. And we've shared it. And out we go. And so there we go. So let me go ahead and tell you, this is independent of Which School. Which School is an independent source, CEM. This is a new project, independent project, which we literally have hundreds of people involved, possibly thousands, already ready to teach, ready to bring their tradition together. So the first project we're working on is the Witch Starter, in honor of Witch Starter, which is the month of Kickstarter. And we're going to begin that module. And I've already got that. We're being developed a module of 12 different modules over 6 weeks to teach you about witch culture and witch ideology. And it'll be taking care of all of that ideology. Beyond that, we have the lifetime membership. Lifetime means lifetime. After 22 years of Witch School, you know what I mean. Pegasus Night Radio, Magic TV. We build for the long term. So, folks, I want to thank you. I want you to understand how much more that you want to do. We are planning a major education, and it's going to be out there. And, if the price doesn't seem like it, let me offer this one last alternative, that one last concept. And that is that by building on the internet, we're 95 to 99% cheaper building a college than if we had a physical location. So cybernet, which has grown and expanded the pagan communities, the witch communities, especially the witch communities, has now can be built for a lot less money. And we can build this freeversity. I'm a big believer in freeversities, that you can do so. So here we go. One last time.
Which college? Learn anything, anytime, anywhere education. Whichcollege.co.
And that'll take you right to the Kickstarter campaign. And if you're interested, you can also go to join the group. If you're not ready to actually make that pledge, but you want to go ahead and join the group and learn more about it, we have something called whichcollege.org, and that is our group. So thank you, and have a great day. Blessed be. Hope to see you